Still watching the daily debate, dear viewers, talking about Egypt's foreign policy. And we'll now be watching a report about the undisputed fact, that Egypt's strategic importance in regional dynamics is unmatched.
Egypt's role as a cornerstone of regional politics, economics and security in the Middle East and North Africa region is undisputed. Situated at the nexus of three continents, Egypt's strategic geographical location has historically made it a gateway for trade, culture and diplomacy. Today, this unique positioning, combined with its historical legacy, enables Egypt to exert significant influence on regional stability and development. Egypt's capacity as a mediator has been crucial in navigating the complex and often turbulent dynamics of the region. The nation's long-standing relationships with both Western powers and regional actors allow it to serve as a key player in peace negotiations and conflict resolution. These diplomatic initiatives are supported by Egypt's active participation in regional organizations where it advocates for dialogue and cooperation. Egypt has been a driving force behind regional integration, particularly through large-scale infrastructure projects. The country's development of the Suez Canal Economic Zone, which aims to transform the canal area into a global logistics hub, amplifies Egypt's strategic vision to boost regional trade and investment. Additionally, Egypt's participation in cross-border energy projects such as the East Mediterranean Gas Forum enhances its role as a regional energy leader, promoting cooperation among Mediterranean countries. Egypt has strengthened its international and regional alliances to maintain a balance of power in the region marked by shifting alliances. The country's military capabilities, bolstered by substantial defense partnerships with countries like the United States and France, enable it to play a critical role in regional security architecture. Moreover, Egypt's foreign policy is characterized by a pragmatic approach that seeks to balance relationships with major global powers while asserting its autonomy and regional leadership. Through these relationships, Egypt has secured investments and diplomatic support that bolster its regional influence. Egypt's strategic importance in the Middle East region is multifaceted, encompassing political mediation, economic integration, and security leadership. As the region continues to face challenges and opportunities, Egypt's role as a stabilizing force remains vital for the future of the Middle East and North Africa.
Welcome back, dear viewers. With us now live over the phone is Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, international relations expert. A very good evening to you, Dr. Mostafa. Thank you for joining us. We're talking here about Egypt's foreign policy, the fact that Egypt historically has and continues to balance its relations with superpowers, and it is undisputedly the key to regional stability and security. My question here is regarding the most important file that we are dealing with today, the Gaza file. How do you see things moving forward from here, especially that 2 days from now, on August the 15th, we're supposed to have a new round of negotiations, Egypt spearheading the way with the Qataris and with the Americans, but there is the potential Iranian response against Israel. There is the stubbornness of this Israeli government that has, executed a barbaric form of attack against Palestinians for over 10 months.
Frankly speaking, good evening. I think, yes, we need the diplomacy from one hand, but also the power and the force should be on the other hand, because, an enemy, each unrespectable enemy, this Zionist country that's called Israel, which is not a country, it's like an entity. And at the same time, we have a shortage, especially in the collective action as Arab countries and Muslim countries, in order to show some sort of cycle versus Israel. I don't believe the Americans, because Americans supporting Israel. And if you say that America will say and will have like a rule in this, no, America is fueling the situation, because America always is specialist in moderating the situation, not to solve and settle the situation, because simply speaking, Israel, according to all the literature since 1948, just representing the Western agenda. Therefore, they were not waving, supporting their agenda just for the blackness of our eyes. This is like a dream and faith from our side. But at the same time, yes, diplomacy is important. However, as I told you, without the right force and the right collective action in order to fight this Zionist entity, nothing will be, solved, because Hamas itself already refused just to participate in this, hypocrisy and this silly show that's called, this tripartite, dialogue, in my view.
So for how long will this go on then, and what could change things on the ground? I mean, is it a change at the helm of the Israeli cabinet, a change in the U.S. administration? I don't know. What is it that could change things on the ground? Because this human suffering is unacceptable. I mean, for over 10 months now, the world shamefully has been watching. So we cannot watch for much longer.
I don't know exactly. You have to ask the United States, because do you think that the United States just to stop what they are doing? No, they can. But unfortunately, they cannot, as I told you, because there is a lot of things. The lobby in the United States, they are Zionists, are impacted by the Zionists. Even the Federal Reserve, controlled by the Zionists, and the biggest multinational companies, already regulated and already controlled by the Zionists. Therefore, all of that in the support and the favor of Israel. However, some Arab countries, unfortunately, supporting Israel. I don't want to mention some of that. Therefore, and some Islamic countries also trying to have like a good ties with Israel, despite having like a strict and a collective action against Israel, organized by the biggest countries in the region, especially Egypt, Iran, and Turkey. And I'm stressing on this. In addition to Saudi Arabia, it's going to be like a quarter. I think everything will be in vain, frankly speaking.
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, this is not happening. I mean, this is not happening. Because you mentioned, you also hinted that some Arab countries are even getting closer and closer to the Israelis at the time when they are attacking, our brothers and sisters in occupied Palestine.
I don't know exactly what to say, but this is my viewpoint, that without coordination with the four countries and having like a strict situation, especially economic and diplomatic factors with Israel, nothing will be
okay.
What we said from the day one, but unfortunately more diplomacy and more weaknesses from our side, nothing will be achieved, because they know only one language, the language of force, the language of power, the language of strategy. If Netanyahu is killed, I think a lot will be solved, because they are allowing the killing of our innocent brothers, and if we're trying to attack them, all the Western media will be against us. And we see a lot of bias and a lot of double standards and a lot of whatsoever there is, like International Court of Justice or International Criminal Court, but nothing, can stop Israel from doing something humanitarian, especially in this catastrophic situation against our brothers and sisters in Gaza.
Yes. Dr. Mostafa, now, two areas where diplomacy could really have a hand. One is the Sudanese problem. Egypt is playing a leading role in trying to spearhead mediation efforts, bring humanitarian aid into the needy areas, and also the Libyan crisis. Egypt plays a very positive role there. So how do you see Egypt's influential role in Sudan and in Libya, two of its key neighbors?
I think in Sudan we are trying to do something okay and something good enough because we supported and we opened our doors to the refugees from our brothers from Sudan. But the problem is that even Egypt wants and some other countries, they don't hold and they get the benefit from this chaotic situation. They want to be in the region. I don't want to mention because I have all the reports, especially from the CIA and from the other references from European media. Before, as I told you in the beginning, if there is no collective action just to settle and just to be versus the administration or moderation of the situation of the United States and the Western, because the Western, they are benefited from this. And also, should we bet on the other powers, especially the new world order or the global south? I mean, of course, Russia, China, Iran, Pakistan, India, Turkey. If we have more relations and good relations with them and having like conformity on specific viewpoints concerning our South issues, I think it will, be better for that. For a few days before, I already organized the first session concerning Egypt and BRICS, what next? And we should elaborate several series of sessions like this, especially with the Global South, because the Global South is the hope, not the West. As you see, even in the Olympic Games, there was a lot of bias against all the other countries. And was a disorganization. If such a disorganization was in one of our countries when they were preparing like a big event like this, you will find what's supposed to be happened from the West accordingly. Therefore, the Global South is the solution, in my view. And having a greater dialogue with the Global South, first it will strengthen your situation and your position and your stance with the West. Number two, it will make the West under your will, not the opposite.
Okay, and finally, Dr. Mostafa, how do you read the regional scene today with the challenges, all of the challenges facing Egypt? I'm sure you're going to say it's a chaotic regional scene. There is chaos everywhere. The challenges, how can Egypt best manage to balance again between protecting its national interests and at the same time in helping solve these crises surrounding it across the region, really, you name it.
We have different tools should be elaborated. The diplomatic tool, especially the new generation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you should be ready for this, and you should have like a simulation model, like models for how to deal with the Palestinian, code, how to deal with the code, how to deal with the Lebanese code, with the Iraq code, with the Yemeni code, with the maybe Moroccan. This is a very important issue. Yeah. On the other hand, you should have an economic tool. Should you, for example, having, the investment association or things like that, especially Afro-Arab Investment Association, should take the right rule to play in this regard. Therefore, a lot of things should be made. Also, the soft power. You should reduce, like, documentaries, maybe being like, how to look at such, problematic issue. You may entertain or invite the proper experts just to give their views in this regard, like what we are doing, but on a higher scale, on a larger scale. This is exactly what the people should listen to before you have the three tools. And also the civil society. If we have civil society here in Egypt and those civil societies having the proper relations with the other Arab countries should work properly in this regard, because the government alone cannot work properly. But you have the media, you have the civil society, you have the businessmen, all of them, they have their own rules to play. This is exactly my vision for this.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the international relations expert, thank you for your time, and thank you for your valuable input with us here. And thank you, dear viewers, for watching tonight. Thank you, sir. And thank you, dear viewers, for watching tonight's edition of the Daily Debate. Please stay with Nile TV International.